So, a couple thoughts on the Pope's paper that came out this morning. It's an encyclical. It's called Magnificat Humanitas, Magnificent Humanity. And I'm going to give you some highlights because I haven't read it yet, so I just did a summary. But there's a couple things that I want to point out that I think are really important. For the most part, this is an attempt to get control of the computer. Okay, computer, attempt to get control of the tech, of the AI, through humanism, through some vision of humanism. So I just put up a thing of Vatican II, a lot of the critique about Vatican II when they changed the Catholic Church. And I put up a little picture of Kennedy and the Pope because Vatican II happened while Kennedy was the Pope, or just while Kennedy, there's a Freudian slip, while Kennedy was the president. And of course, we know what happened to him. So let's all calm down. The first thing to keep in mind is Leo the 14th, the current Pope, was picked an American Pope. We all know from Chicago, and he eats hot dogs and he watches baseball and all that, right when Trump was coming into office. And clearly, now, he also, you should know, he was in charge of reviewing the background, doing the deep background on every applicant, or candidate, I shouldn't say applicant, but candidate for bishop around the world, like a super high position. So he's probably been prepared to do this. Anyways, he took the name Leo the 14th, and he openly said, I did this in respect to Leo the 13th, who was from the late 19th century, who's known for a couple things. One, he had a terrible vision after Mass one day. I guess he was like cleaning up after Mass, and this is while he was Pope, of some like terror, some like sort of moral, ethical, spiritual terror. Okay. And he created, which is a pretty popular prayer, the prayer of Saint Michael. It's not very long, and it's this vision that Saint Michael has to help us put demons and evil spirits back in hell. Nice lighthearted banter for Memorial Day morning. The other thing he's known for is his encyclical on labor in the industrial age. Like we think of the labor movement in the 20th century in the United States, it was promulgated primarily by the Democratic Party and the unions, and the cities had these, what did they call them? The big industrial cities were basically run by like the mob, the Democratic machine, that's the word I'm looking for, and the unions. Here in Western PA, it was like a known fact that anytime they had a problem in Pittsburgh, the mayor who ran the Democratic machine would just pick up the phone and call Mr. Mellon, and Mr. Mellon, the Democratic guy and the Republican guy would like work things out, and they'd get things fixed in Pittsburgh. It's sort of funny. Now we have the same thing, only it's just corrupt and nothing gets fixed. But, let's all calm down. So let me just hit you with some highlights from this thing. So what I'm trying to explain to you is he is putting AI in a category of technology, like the early industrial age of coal mines and steel mills and railroads and so forth, where the threat of harm to humanity and centralized control is paramount. It's 2,000 years old. The church has sort of a long-term perspective. Magnificent humanity is basically the Latin, safeguarding the human person in the time of artificial intelligence. The encyclical argues that humanity faces a pivotal choice akin to two biblical images. This is pretty good. The construction of the Tower of Babel, which represents a dehumanizing project driven by pride, uniformity, self-sufficiency, without God and rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem under Nehemiah, Nehemiah, which symbolizes shared responsibility, community cooperation, and rebuilding with God at the center. Pope Leo XIV urges humanity to come to the way of Nehemiah. I think that's how you pronounce it, avoiding the Babel syndrome. On Sunday, I'm going to do a piece that I'm going to say doesn't really get the job done. Okay, because this isn't just like BlackRock, like controlling AI. This is a kill chain. Human dignity, the common good, universal destination of goods, subsidiarity. Decisions regarding algorithms and platforms should not be imposed unilaterally by tech giants. Local communities and intermediary bodies must have a voice in the governance, solidarity, social justice, integral human development. I'm giving you some of the language. The technocratic paradigm where efficiency and profit become the sole measure of value. The encyclical notes that today unprecedented technological is concentrated in the hands of private transnational entities, making it difficult to govern for the common good. Emphasize that artificial intelligence is not human intelligence. Now, the Pope's advisor on this is a very sophisticated guy. I read his essay about Peter Thiel, and it's the most interesting thing on Peter Thiel, Palantir, Alex Karp, the whole crew that I've read online. I mean, you guys know I follow like all the big AI guys, super intelligent AI, Nate, TJ, everybody I can find. I read about AI. I went to Caltech last year about this time. The Pope's advisor is just crushing it. He's like the Nick Saban of AI. The Pope defends human finitude, arguing that vulnerability, suffering, and limitations are precisely where compassion, relationship, and the need for God emerge. The authentic more than human is not found in technological enhancement, but in the grace of Christ that elevates human nature through love. The Pope calls for an ecology of communication. AI and robotics can relieve humans of dangerous tasks. He calls for proactive policies, continuous training, and verifiable measures to protect workers. The document warns against I'm going to read the document like intently, but I'm just giving you a quick view into what's coming out of this. The document warns against new forms of slavery and societal control. The final chapter contrasts the culture of power with the civilization of love, which sounds a little bit like Jimi Hendrix. You may have seen the bumper sticker. Jimi Hendrix, of all people. I think it says when the power of love is greater than when the power of love is greater than the love of power, then we'll have peace on earth, or something like that. The Pope strongly condemns the application of AI in warfare, particularly in the development of lethal autonomous weapon systems, what he calls force without limits. He calls for diplomacy, multilateralism, and the disarming of words to prevent conflicts in both physical and cyberspaces. It does not the document does not reject technology, but demands that it be firmly anchored in Christian humanism. The Pope challenges the world to ensure that AI serves to make life more human and more worthy of the human person rather than constructing a new dehumanizing Tower of Babel. I have some reservations about about this. It's related to some of the critiques of Vatican II. Like, if you're not a Catholic, like, just have fun with all this, just like it's a philosophy class. Like, you're just reading like some weird philosophy. I don't think this goes far enough because, like, AI is being used not even in warfare, just to murder civilians. There was like 50 college students killed in Russia. And it's the targeting is being done by this. And then Russia retaliated not with artillery and soldiers, but with a massive, massive missile barrage right into the middle of Kiev. I'm not feeling the humanism thing. And I know some of you probably know where I'm going with this. So on Sunday, I'm going to do a deep dive on this. I've asked my daughter to maybe produce a piece. I'll try not to influence her too much. It's weird that this is happening like at the same time as the war with Iran, because the war with Iran has been run by a kill chain. It's not. They just present the ideas to Trump and say, like, okay, here's the next round, here's the next wave of bombing campaigns we're going to do against Iran, and it doesn't weaken Iran at all. So, happy Memorial Day. Remember what Memorial Day is all about. And 11/11/11. Tens of thousands of people died because they picked that number, but that's okay. So, but AI is both the problem and the solution. AI is making this kind of, what's your Roman Empire? I'm calling it the Francisco problem, where mega systems are under attack from microsystems, from fractal systems. So have a nice week.